Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Natasha, and if you're returning, thank you for coming back. I recently made some salted caramels, which I thought I should share with you because they are so tasty, and I think they're gonna make great holiday gifts or birthday gifts or just to eat in general. I know my husband would love to just have these around the house all the time, although they do have a lot of sugar in them, as all candy does, so act responsibly. But it's definitely worthwhile knowing how to make this because, well, we don't really know what's in all the candy out there anyway. Well, I guess we know, it does say on the back of the package, but half those things are, you know, words that we can't even pronounce. So you may as well make this at home, and it really doesn't take that long. All you need are basic ingredients, a candy thermometer, and a big pot. And then I guess a pan to let it cool in. And some parchment paper to wrap it in if you want to. But basic ingredients, very simple to make, and would make wonderful holiday gifts. Let me show you how I made them. Well, you start by combining all of the ingredients into a big pot. Now you want a pot that is bigger, or I should say larger, than the ingredients that you're actually going to put in, because once they heat up, they will bubble up to the top. So you definitely want a bigger pot. So you combine everything in there except for the butter, mix it all together, put it on your stove top, and let it start to heat up. And as it heats up, just now and then come by and stir it, making sure that all of those ingredients are combining nicely and that nothing is sticking at the top and risking to be burnt. Now this could take a couple of minutes to hours depending on how quickly your stove works. And what you'll need here to monitor the temperature is a candy thermometer. Now these are different than just your average, I guess, kitchen thermometer, which has this long stick that you can measure meat or, you know, kinds of liquid with. This is not that kind of temperature thermometer. This is different. And so if you're looking for one, I'll link one down below. But it's a very specific candy thermometer, and I believe you can also make fudge and marshmallows and things like that with it. So it's got a specific gadget that can do that. Now, a friend of mine was nice enough to purchase me one. Thank you so much, you know who you are. I thought I would borrow someone else's because I don't know how much I'll make candy, but I'm so glad that I now have my own because I think we'll definitely make this a lot more now that I know how to do it. But you're gonna need a candy thermometer. That's how you keep track of the temperature of your mixture as it heats up. Now these are sugars, so do not get this anywhere on your skin. It's very hot and will burn, so be very, very safe. But you want this to heat up to, I think, 248 degrees. So keep watch on where that is on your candy thermometer and then leave it stirring now and then, but wait till it gets up to temperature. Now, in the meantime, I get the butter ready so long because once it hits that temperature, you want to have the butter ready so that you can stir it in as quick as possible, which will kind of just stop it from getting hotter, and then of course remove it from the stove so that you can not cook it any longer. Also, while it is heating up, I'm preparing a 9x9 inch pan with some parchment paper. Now you could probably use butter or some spray to keep the candy from sticking. And it would be better to do it that way because then you can make sure that the caramel will be nice and flat and, you know, come out nicely. But the problem with that is, I think, if you do it that way, you'll have some trouble removing it. So what I did to make sure that the caramels don't stick to the pan is I just laced it with some parchment paper. That way it'd be easy to lift out afterwards. Now the downside to doing this is that of course the caramel shapes to the parchment paper because you can't perfectly get it into the pan, but you know what, those edges we can eat. And then I think the people that I'm giving these caramels to won't even care what it really looks like in their shape, as long as they can eat it and enjoy it and it tastes good. So I've lined my pan with some parchment paper, and once my mixture is up to temperature, I've stirred in the butter and let that combine nicely. You pour the caramel into this pan, and then you want to let it sit for 10 minutes so that it just kind of starts hardening before you add the sprinkles of coarse salt over top of the caramel. This will give you that nice salty caramel taste. And then I'm going to leave this to sit overnight, well, at least 8 to 12 hours, but overnight makes sense if you're going to do it. And come back to it the next morning to start cutting it into strips and then wrapping it in parchment paper. not hard at all. It didn't take all that long. Most of the waiting period's overnight so that we don't surround the caramel like hawks waiting to eat it. So go ahead and make this for family and friends. If you're wondering what kind of gift idea for the holidays or something that you can make at home, now this recipe is foolproof. It tastes so good. If you follow the directions down below, you should be all good to make these caramels for a birthday or a holiday gift, or just for some caramels around your house. Now I did substitute corn syrup here with brown rice syrup, which is just an alternative to corn syrup if you're interested in that. I think it's a bit of a healthier kind. And then you can also substitute the vanilla with real vanilla pots if you've got those local to you, or you can get your hands on some that would taste delicious. Well, thank you for hanging out with me as I share with you how to make these salted caramels. And if you're interested in content like this, you can usually find me in the kitchen or out in the garden when it's a bit warmer, or preparing for some kind of trip or adventure. So if you're interested in that and tips around that, please stick around and like this video if you find it interesting, and you can catch some of the upcoming content. Alright, see you, bye.